No. There is no position in the world where I wouldn't invite somebody here to be anything other than themselves.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be like deliberately more vulgar than is necessary, but if a casual fucking
if you need to make up for fucks once lost, feel free to fuck it up as much as you want.
All right, cool.
This is yeah.
After that one, I was just like, I ask every time I do an interview. I normally don't ask as in such a frank way that I did that time, but.
Well, no, I mean, that's the funny thing about
some bitches don't tell you.
The longer that you do this, you learn little things. Mm. Every opportunity, good or bad, is an experience moving forward. And all you can do is just apply those experiences in your day-to-day. So yes, feel free to ask me anything that you need.
Yeah. Appreciate
no
it.
problem. Well, okay. All right. So here we are. I don't really have much of an intro after that.
Oh, was that?
I just don't even know what to say at this point.
That was meant to.
Nowhere wolves are in the building. Make some noise for the internet.
3/4 of nowhere wolves. We're one member down due to personal family stuff going on, but 3/4 of nowhere wolves. Yeah.
Shout out to Paul.
Shout out.
We love you, Paul. We love both Pauls we know, and also other Pauls that we know. We probably love too.
Yeah,
but the two big Pauls, y'all know who you
Big Pauls.
So for anybody out there in internet land that is not familiar with Nowhere Wolves, why don't you give me the 6-word spiel?
Oh.
You're the word guy.
Down.
6. Yeah.
It could be 8 if it needs to be.
May I provide a haiku? No, yeah. I'm kidding. I don't got that out of my ass like that.
I had a haiku about being a musician's musician and it being the worst fate. I don't know exactly what it is or the rules of haiku, and then it required the context of because of money you feel, which was like half of another haiku.
Yeah, I feel like getting a direct answer to a question out of Jay is going to be difficult.
He likes to answer in an abstract manner. Yeah. If you're looking for like, oh, what is this band like? And I'm trying to not over-explain things. We got an electric violin. It is a little bit post-punk, a little bit funky. It's very primal, and I don't know. Those are some words. That was a little bit something.
Yeah.
Well, human beings making art together with organic matter in 2026 is quite a controversial thing.
Yeah.
But I appreciate you still doing the thing. We need bands like Nowhere Wolves out there in these crazy times, these crazy, crazy times. So let's do kind of like the Spider-Man Spider Bite origin story here. Give me the lowdown on where did the band begin? Who, what, when, where, why? How?
I think it's reasonably interesting because it began in 2024 and both Chandrika and my band that we were separate bands that we were in at the time were on their way out. One no longer being the case. Lilith was taking a hiatus, but are now back. But I was in a group called Sommelier that was on its way out. Had a couple of dates to fulfill that I didn't want to drop because they took some elbow grease to get. And so I brought some folks together to fulfill some dates. And the second of those dates we recorded at Poetry Lounge and just put out as a live album because why not? And then at the beginning of this year, we met Wes. Yeah. And prior to that, we met Paul, but Paul has been with us basically since late 2024.
Yeah. It was basically like an initial, fill a couple dates, scrap together your favorite of each instrument, or whatever, and then we were having fun. We're like, oh, what if this was a real thing? And then the lineup shifted a little bit, establishing an official, okay, this is an active band that is going to continue to do things and not just be a 3-show moment.
But we really must have had not more than a month maybe to get those initial sets off of the ground. Yeah. I think it was something very close to a month. Like it was a very quick turnaround time where we had these are the folks who agreed to
Ball is going to get me for that.
Bleep the burps. But yeah, I mean that was the other thing. It was like I pulled together people that I knew could do it.
Yeah, I'm curious just about kind of like the chaotic rush of getting together original material in such a quick manner. Is that something that like any of you had done prior to this, I know that you're new to the situation, Wes, but
Yeah.
the two of you, like, was like, because, not to long wind this question, but I think all of us have probably been a part of music projects at some point in time where it's like, it's felt like forever trying to make everything just right before we play a show. And this is like the antithesis of that.
Yeah, I like, that's what I liked about it. And that's what I would like to, I would like to do stuff with more intention with this project. And that's where we're more on the track of now, like a year and a half in. But I despite the situation that both of us were in at the time, that's what I liked about it. I mean, so the material on that live album was all material that I had written previously, with the exception of one song that I was in the middle of writing when all of this went down. So that it just became a rehearsal thing, really, and making it their own. But now we're into more. Obviously we have the luxury of foresight now and can look a little bit ahead. But that's like a kind of urgency. Is like, all right, well, second show in, we're going to record this. This is going to be our first album. I liked that a lot about it, and it came out very well. So.
Yeah, I think that it's really cool as an artist. I mean, now it's a really cool thing for you to have that.
Mm-hmm.
But I imagine, like, in a few years from now, whether or not Nowhere Wolves is still active as a band, like, you'll all still be human beings, and this will be something that you'll be really thankful to have had.
Werewolves.
Yeah, maybe. Who knows? The way things are going. But I think that's just like a cool snapshot to be able to have something like that.
Yeah.
This is not extremely Nowhere Wolves related, but in general, especially in music, pretty much every time I've had a random, gotta fucking pull something out of my ass in some capacity in a faster timeline than I would prefer, because I'm such a planner. It's always been some of my best fucking, like, I'm swearing for no reason. It's always been like a worthwhile, and sometimes you like that fire under your ass, like while you're learning the stuff, like it really like.
Well, that's the thing.
Being forced to jump into something quicker than you're ready to is. Only benefited me in life.
And I knew you were capable.
Musically.
And I knew you were capable of it. So like that was no, but you hate recording, but like you killed that live set.
Well, yeah, because I didn't have to act like I was recording.
Right.
I'm a great performer. I'm not a good recording artist.
Yeah, I think that's the other thing too. I mean, there's a couple different conversations that ways that I feel like this conversation can go right now. One is kind of like the magic of, for lack of a better term, like live rock music. Anything under that umbrella of rock, right? Whether it's metal or punk or post-punk, whatever. The magic of live music and how hard that can be to capture in a recording studio, especially in like a modern day recording studio. It could be difficult to capture that. So it's cool that you're able to record that in a live aspect.
Yeah.
The other thing that I'm wondering now, as we talk about the future, and now we have some new people that are involved, and the band is continuing to grow. The sound is continuing to grow. I'm curious, like, what the sound of Nowhere Wolves is heading, and if it's heading in a direction that was different than the first batch of songs that you had already had written.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, and it's very obviously down to we have something very different now that we didn't have in July 2024.
Sure.
And beyond that, I mean, Wes, you can talk a little bit more about your background, but it's not a rock background at all.
Yeah, I'm very curious.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's interesting though. It's good to keep in mind you were looking for a violin, which is interesting, right? So you had this idea.
Yeah, but you never know. Like,
it's because he's a little art freak. We thinking about things.
we could have found somebody who had been in a band before, and that wasn't like the fact that you hadn't was not a deterrent at all. Obviously, because you're a phenomenal player. But I mean, like, had not been in a band before, but like,
I did like the Battle of the Band stuff in high school, that kind of basic stuff. But yeah, I was classically trained, from when I was, a small child, and I played, a lot until I was maybe my early 20s. And then I took a break for a while, right? That was like 5 years ago. And then it's a joke, right? And for anybody listening, I'm not 25. So it came back to it after a long time, and started by getting back into classical playing. But I did want to get into. I mean, I guess one thing that attracts me about to playing in a band in this situation is that you get to right. So that like the spontaneity of it, the improvisational side is something that really you don't get as much in classical music really at all now, and what something that that I think makes it really fun and interesting and really different.
Yeah, I'm always curious when I talk to people that have a classical background and how that affected the way that they interfaced with what we'll call, I guess, just not classical music growing up, like in pop culture. Like, how did that knowledge affect you being able to enjoy the simpler things in life?
Sure. Yeah, that's an interesting question. I think this is really different for different people. Like there are people I think that learned a lot of learn a lot of music theory, and then when they listen to music are always thinking like, this is this chord and this chord and this, and actually that's not how I am, right? So I think the main thing that learning music for a long time did for me is just that I'm very comfortable on my instrument. Mm-hmm. But when I'm improvising, I'm just playing by ear, right? It's like somehow I hear what should come next and I play that, and I can do that very comfortably because I've played the instrument a lot. So I don't think that actually in my case there's like a big music theory component to how I think about the music.
Yeah.
But I think like anybody, listening to a lot of stuff played a big role, and just listening to a lot of music growing up, like I would put on music and play with it on the violin. I play the harmonica also. I play with the harmonica, and just playing with music and getting familiar with it that way was a big part of growing up and learning. Yeah.
Now, in terms of like the application of the electric violin into what No Werewolves is doing, I'm curious like where that's sitting sonically, because right now you're just doing like guitar, bass, drums, vocals, now violin. So is this acting like the role of like maybe like a second guitar player or like a synthesizer or both?
Yeah, like a lead instrument.
Yeah.
And the other thing I was going to say about that was, we've all met many guitarists and
the world has enough of them.
As a bass player, no, I don't even need to say that. I'm never eager to jump into a situation where I'm outnumbered by multiple guitar players either. And there's situations where sonically, like that's the best setup and it's awesome. But it's not like my default preference is to have like all these guitar players, and then I'm just sitting there like,
But especially now, if you're in a band and you're considering, because I was gonna be the vocalist, and so not really playing lead so much, perhaps just like vamping a bit, but you get to know, in 2026, a lead guitarist will have been influenced really by one of 10 influences, and you can sort of like, oh, okay, this guitarist has this kind of style, this guitarist, and they sort of slot in it. But I had and regularly have no idea where Wes is going to go. But I know that it's going to complement the composition very well. So that, I mean, it's sitting in a place of a lead instrument. As we mentioned, Wes is playing an electric violin through an effects unit, so occasionally has maybe some of those synth undertones. But there's just a lot to explore that I don't think we would be exploring just with a guitarist right now. Maybe with a synthesizer player, but you should see this tall man move, which you would not be doing behind a synthesizer.
Yeah, totally. I imagine it just like gives an entirely different human perspective to what is possible with the compositions of the band.
I mean, I think one thing that violin does well, and string instruments in general, is sort of like following human voice, like and sort of complementing voice and singing, right? I mean, it's I think exactly what people were doing, back in the 1600s when they were making these like wooden boxes and to make sound. I mean, what they were going for is complicated, but I think part of what motivated the sound people think is good in a string instrument is that it sounds kind of human almost, right? And so I think a bowed instrument then can, I think complement a singer in a way that you don't get as much with a strummed instrument, or at least is different. And so, with not so many violins in this space. I think it's an interesting thing to hear.
I think especially too with Jay's particular vocal style, which you've heard Jay sing. It's very like you could almost use the word classical. Or I don't know if there's a preferred word, but
Dramatic.
It does suit
Drama.
that kind of stuff real well. And like, of course, there are times in which I could and should do a backup vocal here or there, and there are times where our voices complement each other very well. But I'm sure enough people have heard me sing or seen what I'm up to. Then you got one person who's like this and one who's like this, but the violin and the one like that.
Yeah.
I like it.
Whenever they cross each other, it is a cool thing. I just went too far from the guy.
Yeah, no, I think that like one of the most like something that I always find very fascinating, what I try to do with a lot of the music that I make is have like a cast of characters making music that come from different backgrounds. Because like, I don't know, like there's certainly circumstances where if you have 3, 4, 5 people that all like the same exact thing and want to do the same exact thing, that
Right.
can be fun.
Yeah.
I've done that and I'm into that, but I'm much more interested and I always feel way more creatively fulfilled from an environment where it's like, I didn't see this coming.
I've never done
I
that
totally
first.
agree,
I've
yeah.
never done that first thing.
You can't find another person that thinks exactly like you do, though. That's
Like, for example, like if like you and like a couple of your buddies are all really into Green Day and you all want to form a band, whether it's on purpose or not, your band is going to probably sound like Green Day. And I love Green Day. I would not want to do that. You know, in other projects about that, I'm like, we don't even have any overlapping bands we like.
Yeah.
Once you get to know each other, you show each other music but you don't all walk in with the same favorite band and then
Right.
put something out that makes that obvious. You know.
Yeah.
With the music scene, regardless of whatever city, whoever's listening to this, whatever city you might be in, you're probably in Pittsburgh. But so we'll focus on Pittsburgh right now since we are all Pittsburgh area musicians. Do you find or ever struggle with like trying to find a place where you fit in that pocket as an unfortunate side effect of being kind of like an outlier band? Because I feel like that sometimes in my art,
Like a place, like a community around a venue, you mean? Or
just finding like a I think the thing that's sometimes cool about being a band that is a very specific thing is sometimes it's kind of easier to get sucked into a certain community.
Yeah.
Or like play shows with other bands in particular spaces. But I've had a hard time sometimes being like, I don't necessarily fit in, but I could play shows with anybody and it works. But I think that as a side effect, sometimes I don't always think that maybe we get thought of first to get asked to get put on bills.
I think that's just our personalities.
I
think that's less about the sound and more about we just rub people the wrong way.
No, I think of that in a similar way. Where like, yeah, you know, we can't just play a show with all the violin post punk funk band. Like that's not an active. But then I think that does create a lot of flexibility because we could be on a funk bill. We could play after a folk artist, perhaps,
Yeah.
like with something more stringy. You know, like
Yeah.
I think it makes you kind of more flexible in where you can go. And I don't mind being nowhere, you know, because you can go anywhere if you're nowhere. I guess I don't know what I'm saying.
it's poetic.
Interview. I don't write the lyrics.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that there is definitely always a potential for sure to have that flexibility. But, you know, I think that it's just a matter of making sure that you're putting yourselves out there enough to know that people are like, hey, we want to ask this band for a
Right.
show.
Yeah.
Because another side effect too, I think sometimes, maybe this is just me, I find that a lot of time I'm not playing a whole lot of shows unless I'm the one booking them. And
Yeah.
that could be a pain in the ass to do all the time. I
Right.
like booking shows, but sometimes it's nice just to be asked to be part of a party, which thank you.
Yeah,
We-
you're right.
you have invited us to be a part of one of your
Yeah,
parties.
yeah.
Yeah. I think that also probably skewed our answers slightly because we both do a shitload of booking. So like it's way more often that I am curating a show than someone else is curating and thinking of me because I do it so often.
Which is interesting because she gets asked a lot, but she still does it on her own a lot.
I'm in like 10 bands too, so I can always just be like, well, this one can't, but this one can.
Yeah.
I haven't slept in 3 years.
I know.
I got blisters on my fingers. What are you gonna do about it? Like, yeah.
With the other side of, you know, being in a creative space outside of the fun stuff, which is interacting with human beings and live spaces, maybe doing interviews, going out to shows, booking shows, all that stuff. we tip our toes into the murky waters of online social media promotion.
Mm-hmm.
And how do you all feel in a very general sense about, the current state of what some may believe is required in order to be a successful musician in 2026?
So I am really the wrong person to ask. I am off social media.
I just wanted to see if you would come up with something.
Yeah, so I do no social media now, really.
Yeah. But do you have thoughts on what is required for me to do?
So I assume
He appreciates it a lot.
Right. I assume that enough people are on social media that it does help to post things about where the band is going. I would be curious actually how many people at the actual shows found out. This is something I guess we could ask people.
It's like, how else do they find out? You
I
can
don't know.
invite
It could
people
be.
directly, but I don't have any friends.
Yeah.
And,
But I think he might be thinking about new people, like
Yeah.
who aren't already our friends. or
Yeah,
following
exactly.
us.
Yeah.
flyering around too.
Yeah. Yeah,
put on
right.
the
Or
venue
presumably there's
website.
some word of mouth. I don't know, but yeah. I assume that this is it's serving a function, and I'm glad that I'm not being asked to do it for us.
I'll speak in a normal guy way about it.
I'm sure you will.
I will. We both do a lot of that in our own regard, and it is a lot. It's a whole ass job. It's very time consuming. Sometimes I'm like, I hate it. I hate that I have to run 13 different Instagrams. I'm exaggerating
Oh my
slightly,
goodness, yeah.
but I also like it a lot. I think it's fun to. I learned how to make little videos. I didn't have that skill before. I learned how to make flyers. Like those weren't skills I already necessarily had.
Mm-hmm.
It was like how MySpace taught us all HTML.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
For me though, I think like it's a great way to spread the word
Showing
as
your
well
age.
as in-person flyering and stuff. But also, I kind of just like that, like, it is a digital scrapbook. I can look back at every single show, and I the way my stuff is organized is it's chronological. I post, you know what I mean, and like it's all right there in a one nice spot.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, you can make a real scrapbook. I've tried that. I made one, but there was like 2 more years worth of shit to fit in it, and I was like,
She brings them to events like shows and open mics.
Yeah, I'm
The scrapbook, the
I'm
physical
grateful that
scrapbooks.
we are able to spread the word that way, because it is also a challenge to just, if all you could do is yell at your neighbors and staple flyers to
Your
trees,
neighbors.
like it's nice to not have to do that, because sometimes you can't drive or you don't have a printer, and you share it to the story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that I appreciate the measured and somewhat healthy take on it.
Oh, that
because-
sounded healthy. Hell
Yeah.
yeah. No one ever says that to me.
No, I think that sometimes it's so easy to be very like doom and gloom about it.
It's a job. I
Yeah.
feel like I am clocked in but not getting paid when I do it, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, I do see value in it a lot.
Yeah, I think as long as you are, as a human being and a musician, simultaneously artist, if you believe in what you're doing and you're having fun engaging with people online that you enjoy being around, that you respect, that you consider to be friends, and you're just putting your stuff out there for them to enjoy, and hopefully they'll share it with their friends and it spreads. That's the good stuff of the internet. There's plenty of bad, but we don't got to talk about any of that right now, unless you want to.
We haven't been specifically like got by the bots or the trolls. My stepdad did recently. Got a bot commenting on a song that we actually accompanied. He did a full band version. So we actually we recorded that with Ryan Dowden from Shell Shock, who also did our live album. But yeah, so I think it was a bot, but someone was just like, "You have Trump derangement syndrome, and you're being
very
mean to
weird.
your dog." And it was just like like the
was this
song's
man's-
not even slightly political. It's just about like the questions of life, and
It was his first song, and he was getting.
he's just like petting the dog, and the dog's running
first
through the
original
beach. Like, I'm
song,
like,
yeah.
what is this guy on about? He was real upset. I was like, yeah, no, the trolls are out there.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that was me.
so if anybody was to tell us we have TDS or
I
whatever,
bet you're under 6 foot.
Wes is short.
No, and as Wes is bullying Paul. Yeah.
Oh,
bet you're under
I thought someone was going to
That's a-
bully
yeah,
Wes
that
by
was a deep
accusing him of being
reference there.
short on the
Yeah.
internet.
Yeah.
That'd be the way to do it.
before we started recording, I believe it was mentioned that you have a new release on the horizon.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you want to share any information about that, but this might be a good platform to do so.
Probably, I think, yeah.
Yeah.
It's an EP called Take the Honeyed Hand. It's 4 tracks, new original music. Like I was saying earlier, like the stuff on our debut was pre-written stuff, either 1 or 2 bands ago for me. So this is all Nowhere Wolves material, incorporating current Nowhere Wolves. So
And not live, yeah.
And not live, yeah.
So it's a lot
okay.
of firsts about it,
So
yeah.
yeah. So what was that experience like then for you? I mean, I know that you've both probably, I don't know your story, Wes, well, I'll ask you in a minute. Hold your horses. But I know that you've both recorded in like a regular setting before. So what was that like with this material? And also, how do you write material? That's 2 different questions.
Yeah.
Do you write in a live space or do you write like in a rehearsal, like a studio-ish space? Do you self-record? I'm asking you too many questions.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
which one are we answering first? What's going on?
Well,
I already forgot what the first question
writing
was.
is still at the moment in my hands, but whereas I used to derive a lot of joy from arranging, and like that was like Suavity's mouthpiece when I spoke to you 8 years ago.
Yeah.
I would arrange all the music on every instrument for those folks. This is basically, it's not the opposite because I'm still writing the songs, but I don't really do any of the arranging for this band. So it's that, and that's that's what makes it unique in what I have done, but it just is it makes it unique as a whole, because this is the bass lines of Chandrika Rice from Lilith. This is the violin lines of Wes Alden from the Edgewood Community Symphony Orchestra. This is the rhythms of Paul Bradley from the Slobberknockers. Again, we're going back to like people with different backgrounds making music together. I mean, that's what most bands are. But I was telling her this recently, and it's strange that it just clicked with me. But Lilith recently played at Jurgles, a larger venue here in Pittsburgh, and I think it was because the sound is so good there as compared to many of the venues that we know and frequent. But listening to them and her play at Jurgles is like, and it obviously being steeped in producing this EP, I was like, oh yeah, like. Listening back to the EP, this is Chandrika Rice on. This is just like, this is not, and maybe it's because I was so used to controlling the bass for so many years that it sounded like me, in songs that I wrote. But it's very much, I bring the guitar and vocals and the song structure to the table, but they bring the song together.
Yeah, it's usually like a very like stripped down, like guitar, vocal, may not even be an intro or outro, and we work that out together type thing, and. Sometimes there might be an idea of, the drums might sound like this, but then a totally different thing happens when it actually comes to life. How we recorded, your friend Nick recorded drums in his basement, but he had a professional like recording studio set up. The rest we all did DIY from home, plugged into our,
Yeah. Hell yeah.
We're sometimes people save money that way. I was going to say bitches are poor, but I was like, I don't want to accuse, I don't know your financial status.
Very, very classist of you, Chandrika Rice from Lilith.
I'm bitches that are poor.
No, I totally get it.
I also like DIY, and recording is stressful for me, so to not have some random guy I don't know being like, do it again, sitting there.
And
like,
I very much, like I could have, we could have put some money away to do that this time around, but especially being that this was our first studio project for this group, I did want to do it DIY just to, one thing is I hadn't produced, I produced this, but I had not produced something on my own since Suavity's Mouthpiece. So this is now like 7-8 years later from that last thing. And so, yeah, I mean, for me, it was sort of coming back to that, but like, yeah, it's doing a DIY. So this is Nowhere Wolves, that's not to say that I would be down to work with a producer in the future, and work in a more traditional setting. But I think this is what I wanted to do.
And it's worth keeping in mind that this DIY thing, it can be effective. It can work really well, and it makes us all very accessible, right?
Yeah,
so it's
I think another big benefit for me, at least with that too, is I guess for the general, is that you're in a bit more control over the speed in which things get done. You know, like I've had time, not necessarily with this project, but in general, where I needed to record something and I was sucking at it. Now I was like, fuck it, I'll drink a Red Bull at 2 a.m. and keep going. You can't necessarily do that when you're paying somebody for an hour. You can't go cry and smoke 6 cigarettes in the middle. You're paying them per hour.
Yeah, you're on a clock, yeah.
As I continue to grow as a recording artist, which is still not a huge part of my musician life, I'm sure I'll get comfortable recording and it won't, but you know?
Yeah, I think that a big part of recording when you enter the realm of working with a different engineer or producer, or sometimes both, is like finding somebody that really like understands you. Like I firmly believe that like I would not want to record an album with somebody that I wouldn't also want to be in this band in some way. Because in a lot of ways, maybe I'm being dramatic, but this is like a very intimate thing. I'm like inviting another lover in on the session if you're going to be recording what we're doing here. So I need somebody that is like at least going to be somewhat invested and understand what I'm trying to accomplish. And if I can't, then I would rather do it myself.
Yeah. I've had, brain farts real bad today. Oh, I've also had a similar situation, drums recorded professionally, because that's a skill. Like DIY, and then mix and master sent professionally. Yeah. And I did have a relationship, like a really good one with the person who mixed and mastered Lilith's recent EP, David Klug. Great community, like every part of that, like he was really in it. And like that was a fun added thing and an outside ear to all of it too. And I don't mean, DIY is awesome. I do not mean to discourage everybody from employing your local recording people. Please check it out. There's a lot of really talented people around here. But if you're just fucking around in your bedroom and you got the software, it is nice to be able to do that way too.
Yeah, I think that there's, I think sometimes like, and this is coming from somebody that like, there are bands that I record, not a ton, but I do work with other bands on the side. And some of them are very much in a position where it's like, they are ready and they know what they're doing. And then there are also other people that do pay me to basically sit there while they figure out their songs. And it's like, you're not ready for this yet. You know, like I appreciate the business. I do have bills to pay, but also from my perspective, there's a part of me that just wants to be like, you're not ready for this step yet. There's another thing, like you shouldn't be going to somebody else to record until like you are really, really ready with these songs and confident in these songs, unless your expressed statement going into working with somebody is like, hey, we have half ideas and we need somebody to help us organize these. That's a different thing than just like, hey, we got a song, we want to record it, and then they show up and it's like, you do not have a song. this is not a song, my friends. But we're all trying our best.
We are.
Everybody engages with the creative process in a different way. Let's talk about disengaging from our creative selves. What do we all like to do in our time outside
I don't remember
of being
who
a
I
musician?
Outside of this is a fully fledged person that is a person and not just a bass playing machine. I have a personality and feelings, but
Wes has
I
kids.
don't have a lot of separation of pretty much every second that I spend awake, I'm thinking about music in one way or another, or thinking about the next time I can take a nap because I'm overwhelmed.
Wes has like a family.
Yeah.
That's a fun thing to do on the side.
It's a hobby.
No, honestly.
I like, my two favorite things are sleeping and then everything I have to do with the music stuff I do. That's my whole life.
And that, you know, when she says that, that's, like we sort of alluded to, that's not purely our own projects, that's community building too.
Yeah. I do booking that, just fully separate from my own bands. Like I book shows that don't have me on them at all, all the time.
Yeah. So, we say,
I host open mics and stuff.
24/7 and 365, but like, it's community building, really. Yeah.
It's all about being a part of something bigger than yourself. I suppose that's kind of what I'm doing here with this little interview show, this little podcast thing. Even though the world has enough podcasts, but not enough about Pittsburgh music. So fuck them.
Right.
And this is, and this has grown and improved, got significantly. Like I said, we did this maybe 8 years ago in Lawrenceville, so I'm just like at a.
Yeah, I didn't even have a studio. At
I
that point
know,
in time.
but you had an effective method of working, and
Yeah.
that's like that's what you're a pro at, is just developing effective methods of working.
Oh, thank you.
Which
That's a very
is-
sweet thing
yeah.
to say. You know, I think that there's really sometimes it's just a matter of like, I don't know. In terms of like doing like a podcast or maybe booking a show or getting a band together, I'm sure we've gotten these questions like, how do you book a show? How do you start a podcast? How do you do this or that? And like my big thing is just like, you just really have to like give a fuck. Like
Yeah.
100%. That's all you really need. Like, you know, if you want to learn how to record music, if you really, really, really give a fuck and
Yeah.
have like some type of a computer that
Yeah.
kind of works, you can get started.
Yeah.
You can figure out the rest from there.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people kind of get caught up in the concept, which they're very, very fair concepts of like time being a barrier, which I get. A lot of people don't have the time
Yeah.
or the money or the resources. But I mean, like, I don't know, when I started doing a lot of this stuff, like I didn't have a lot of that either. And it was just a matter of like making that time, you know, not sleeping for 3 weeks, things like that. Like you can make it work if you're a little wacky and just fully committed to it.
Yeah,
For sure.
I agree.
And just look at. I mean, I might just be hung up on the flyer thing, but it's just like look at the presentations of like. There's a reason that you want to do this. It's because you saw somebody else do it, and it was cool. Whether or not that person's famous or if there was somebody local, but you sort of just aim. You see that, and you have a vision of what what can be, like what you can put out into the world, and it's a matter of just aim for it. Like, all right, what is the first step for getting people to a show? Well, it's putting together the show, which is a whole other thing.
Sure.
But like the flyer thing is like, well, look at some of the artwork of the bands you love, or like just I don't know if people are having trouble finding inspiration.
I
or
think
whatever
a
it is.
big part too, where you were saying about how like just wanting to do it is such like, you know, an important part of it. Oh my God, every time I open my mouth, it erases the last 15 seconds of thought cloud I had. It was a good point about this. I swear to God. I don't want, we're recorded, so I won't sit here stammer for 5 minutes and
Well,
I remembered what it was.
Hell yeah, let's go.
I think another important part of that, at least for me, is you do have to have like a little bit of like a love or appreciation for like the process of figuring something out, problem solving, if you
Right.
will.
Yeah.
Like you have to trial and error. There's a bit of experimentation with booking shows, getting good at it. You know, there's learning and failing. You know, you have to. If you're still someone who likes learning and growing and figuring things out and seeing, like, fucking around, find out.
Communicating with people too. Like
Yeah.
booking shows 17, 18 years ago, I was a menace.
Sometimes
Just
I
like-
do view that shit as like a puzzle, and it's like fun to solve it.
And
Like,
in
oh, yeah.
terms of over communicating with people, I was just like, yeah, I bothering people via email back in like 2008.
Well, your heart was in the right place.
It was in his throat. It was in his throat, actually.
Oh yeah,
Back then.
just trying to advertise something else that I'm doing.
Yeah.
Why is your heart in your throat? He put out a book, and the paperback version's coming soon. I don't know the date because I'm not the guy.
Because she's not my
But-
biggest fan.
It's not public information.
It's not-
It
will be public
sometime in
information.
March.
Yeah.
So the hardcover version of "Why Is My Heart in My Throat" is out. The paperback one is coming soon.
I just love hearing Chandrika Rice from Lilith promote my
Oh,
stuff.
you just said something about something, and then it made me think of the name of the book.
yeah.
And you can tell I'm a promoter because I'm annoying.
Yeah.
I'm the most annoying person ever.
No,
Come to my show. Read a book.
you haven't made people read yet. That's when it gets really annoying.
It's hard to, yeah. You can encourage them to hold a book,
It's,
but
an-
you can't make them read it.
it's that saying. Yeah.
Yeah, the horse or whatever.
You can't make a horse read a book. What does Tony say? I don't think we can say that.
What is it? What is
No,
it?
no.
Please remember it. He's holding back something hilarious because he doesn't want to be vulgar, and I do, but I don't have it memorized, so it's a really unfortunate. I think it was like you can lead. I figured out the second half. You know, the first half.
Just
Is it you can't lead
He's
a
not gonna
horse to
help you.
water, but you can make it drink its own cum? And just this kid we know said that one time, and it was funny. So now it's. I hope I said it right. I don't know. Jay should have done it. It would be way funnier coming from his eloquent ass. I was just caught off guard. That was just said with no context that one time. So
Yeah.
it was quite funny. But
Shout out, Tony.
shout out, Tony.
So, Wes,
Yes.
I'm curious.
Why are you
about
hanging out with these people?
With these people.
no, I'm curious. Like, okay, so this is
Yeah.
your first time in a band
Right.
atmosphere, right?
Sure.
Aside from the aforementioned Edgewood's Symphony or whatever
right.
it was. Hell yeah. So like outside of the creative side of things, like
Yeah.
how have you felt just integrating yourself with like the colorful personalities of
I wanna know
the
this.
DIY scene and the communities
I want to know this
that
too.
we are all a part of here?
I don't know. I feel like it feels like it's going pretty smoothly. I don't know. I've enjoyed myself. It's been fun.
I
Yeah.
gave Wes a stick and poke in the bathroom at our first show. No, I'm kidding. That didn't happen.
Should have though.
It's coming.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I don't know. It's been great. It's been a lot of fun.
Good.
There's a lot of interesting people in the scene. It's fun to play music together.
Yeah.
It's been a blast. Yeah.
I think the unpredictability of it is fun too. Like sometimes
Yeah.
it's not, but you never know what's going to happen. You know, playing
That's
a place for the
true.
first time, new
Yeah.
bands for the first time on the
Yeah.
bill,
Exactly.
a questionable way to predict attendance.
Yeah.
It's all like,
That's
ooh, what's
right.
going to
Yeah, the
happen?
suspense.
I remember
Yeah.
the first time
Yeah.
the attendance wasn't so great at a show that Wes was at. I'm like, oh man, I hope
Yeah.
he understands. It just
Yeah.
happens sometimes.
But yeah, we played a lot of great venues. It's been a lot of
Yeah.
fun. Yeah.
Yeah, one of the things with this kind of piggybacking on earlier statements, along with needing to have this like insatiable desire to make these things happen, I think that you also have to be okay with things not being okay. Like sometimes like shows are gonna like be really bad,
Yeah.
or sometimes like, you know, a venue's gonna be like really shitty. And sometimes you get both, you know, and it's like, it sucks when it happens, but like you really, I think it's easy for those things to really deter a lot of people from continuing to move
Yeah.
forward, which I get. I mean, I've
Yeah.
had, you know, sometimes it only takes one really bad experience to ruin your life for 6 months.
Yeah.
But, you know, I think that it's really important, I think, as we continue to grow as artists, to try to remember the positives of why we continue to do this and not let the shitty stuff kind of get in the way. Because that's like an unfortunate side effect of DIY underground is sometimes a lot of people that are in this, well, not a lot, but there are people in this space that just don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why they are still in this space and they haven't like been able to get out of this space is because they just suck.
Yeah, I don't think we've had any really terrible experiences. I mean, we've had a
I'm glad
couple
you feel that
shows
way.
that were not well attended, but we haven't had any terrible venues or anything. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like, yeah.
I
So
think-
maybe that will end it for me. I just won't be able to handle it
I
when
think
we have this
short
one
of-
bad experience, but
Yeah.
it hasn't happened yet.
I've had one or two. I deleted my social media for like 2 weeks. I was like, I can't be perceived. I'm humiliated. But generally speaking, short of like a full-on disastrous moment, like I'm not talking like, oh, the mic was cutting out a little bit and like no one came. Like that's a normal bad show. I'm talking like a tragedy occurs, like that type shit. Outside of that, I still think at the end of the day, it's awesome that I'm spending this random night on a stage with people I care
Yeah.
about making cool sounds. Because what would I be doing watching Netflix at home? Like,
Exactly.
that's still more
Yeah.
fun. That's still cooler.
Sounds
Even if
pretty
only two
nice.
people came and the microphone didn't work, like, I'd still rather be doing this than picking my nose. You know, I would love to pick my nose and watch Netflix. Actually, I'm so tired.
But yeah,
But like, just as like living life. You
Yeah.
know, in the grand scheme of being alive, that is a worthwhile way to spend your Saturday night. You know, or your Tuesday night. You know.
Yeah, I mean, I think never before in modern times have so many people been spending their time in ways that they don't choose, right? Like you're just clicking on your phone on the thing that the phone showed you, or Netflix is really choosing the next thing that you watch by choosing what, right? And so everything about how people spend their time is controlled more now than ever before. So yeah, these individual things that you go and you do that yourself, where you're creating something, or I mean, really anything that you're doing that was really your idea, I think is almost radical in the face of how people spend their time today.
Yeah.
That's
This
the
guy's
clip of the episode. How prolific.
This guy's pretty punk.
I'm not joking. I think it's
We can
very
just take a
grim out
vote right
there.
now.
It's if you pay attention to how time is spent these days, it's grim. Yeah. And anything that's an exception to that is worth it.
Yeah, no, I think that like it's really important for me as an individual to do like whatever I can to just kind of like be contributing in some small way to the pot of this thing that I love, which is just like my local art community.
Yeah.
I love art in general, but I'm here. I care about my metaphorical neighbors, my metaphorical bros and sisses and everything in between. Like I love the people that are here. So it's just like, what can I do to continue to engage with these people, go out to shows, do podcasts, play in stupid bands, record stupid bands, do artwork for stupid bands, and some okay bands too. But
I'm going to be like immediately losing all of your clientele.
Yeah, no, I prefer the stupid bands.
I didn't take the word stupid in a negative way in that context.
Yeah.
I thought you just meant like, we're filming a music video where someone's,
I mean, it's some
crazy
sort of a
bullshit,
way.
like,
It's all. I think there's like a kind of like a self-awareness that I've obtained over time. I don't know when it happened, but it's just like it's all kind of silly. Like everything that we're doing, like there can be very poetic things and very important messages in that silliness. We all have our things that we want to say, but just kind of like the idea of any of us trying to walk over and climb this metaphorical mountain, if you will, is like a silly thing to be like, oh yeah, like I'm going to try to do this. I'm going to try to climb this mountain of independent art and DIY culture. It's very exhausting, but very rewarding.
But that's the thing too, and I think people get a little bit caught up with the big picture and trying to change the world. And there's, it's, you can have so much more impact locally and in smaller communities. I mean, I think people get discouraged when they try and change the world and realize it's so insurmountable. It's the same thing of how like no one should want to be president, because why would you want to overlook that mountain? But if you're actually able to contribute, like everybody, for the most part, you're able to contribute locally. You're able to contribute in your community, especially in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I mean,
which people shit on a lot.
I feel I've talked about this a lot before on the show, but for me, it's just like I think another part of the reason why I like interfacing with community so much is because it is real, it's tangible. I can reach out and touch it. And there's like this whole like internet thing where a lot of the time it doesn't even feel like the real world to me. It's something else where it's just like I don't really care if 500 people like something that I posted on Instagram. If I get 5 people to come to a show, it means so much more to me because I can actually have a moment with those people. Like looking at little heart reacts on a screen is not a moment for me. Anyways, I'm sure it is for some people. It would explain a lot, but it's just not my thing.
Yeah.
It's a moment for the advertisers buying time on the platform, right? This is like just driving engagement with all that stuff it's not the same as
this episode sponsored by.
Exactly.
So cynical.
Don't. I am. Don't worry.
I mean, obviously, like engagement boosts how visible something might
of course,
be. So then
it's
someone
a tool.
might see it who otherwise didn't, and then they come in person. But I mean, I don't even pay attention how many likes stuff gets. Like genuinely, I do not like. I'm always like, how's the event? Like that's the fun part. Yeah.
I very much like to interface with the internet in a way where it's like I put the thing up and then I walk away. It's like the equivalent of like leaving a stack of flyers in the coffee shop. You don't just like sit there and wait and watch for every person to like take a flyer.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't think the mic picked that up. So
he said taking a shit and not flushing.
I said,
I'm glad we repeated that. This is important.
You needed to make sure it was audible.
I didn't say that.
I think too, which kind of goes back to that, being a local artist, which everybody's a local artist if they're not literally on tour and doing that on a regular basis. But like being on that, then the DIY and that version of it, I think, the in-person stuff and connecting with people is so important, especially because you don't come out of the womb with an album recorded and on streaming services.
I did.
It takes a lot to build up to that. oftentimes that's not the first step of the process. You know,
Yeah.
you're writing the songs, you're performing the songs. I have a band that's been around for a while that didn't get our first actual recorded body of music out until way later than we would have liked to. But like, I think that again is why the streams or what, I'm like, if you don't even have the factor of, oh, am I getting good streaming numbers? Because you don't have recorded music, you really do have to connect and engage in person. Like that's where it's at.
Yeah. And I think that, again, it's just, to me, it just feels so, it just doesn't feel real. And I think a big part of that just comes from, when I was a teenager into my early 20s, that's like social media just starting to happen, and I kind of have a really hard time not romanticizing those days of being an artist pre-social media. I mean, we had like, MySpace at some point, but even that was so radically different than what we're dealing with now. Like you still were getting notifications on a computer in your pocket every other minute. Like when I had a MySpace account, I still like would go to work and then come home and check my MySpace once a day, and that felt like more than enough. Like, oh wow, I got a friend request. Great, a couple messages. We got a show offer. Cool, and that was it. It wasn't like this constant stream.
PC.
Yeah, I was thinking of that when I'm having like literal 2-second memory lapses. So never mind what I was gonna say. I'm just.
Are you sure?
Yeah, no, I genuinely like. I'm gonna sit here and think really hard for 10 seconds, and that's not gonna be entertaining for anybody. So, yeah, I don't remember what the point was. But for every burp I've had, which has been a lot, I would like to dedicate to my sibling, Ball Arise, who has also featured on this podcast with their band Uprising. They are in Philadelphia now. So any Philadelphians here, go Birds.
Yeah. Shout outs.
Yeah. That was not me trying to do a send-off. I was just like, I got to say something. I'm being awkward. So Balla hates when I burp and don't say excuse me after.
That's true, yeah.
So I really felt like I have to.
I was wondering why you're bringing up Balla, but that makes sense.
I keep burping, and I know that you're going to get Balla trolling comments. Oh, you just disgusting, just burping on it. No, Balla's not going to do.
We're just trying to drive engagement by mentioning specific people who are.
I'm just being an annoying person.
So, aside from the upcoming EP, is there any other stuff that you would like to discuss, No Werewolves related and or just related to you all individually?
I just realized I don't think we actually told you much about the EP, which I don't need to give you the full backstory of everything about it. You said it was 4 new original songs. It comes out on February 6th, which is National Werewolf Day. And the release show for it is the day after, February 7th. And this was a lot of...
It was mostly her idea.
When I get a concept, I like to play with it. So we made it all dog themed. So it's at Moondogs. On it is No Werewolves, Dogs on Water, Bat from the band Greyhound, and Two Wolf Moon. I knew that. They were the first people we had on, and I'm just, I don't have... and we're actually raising money for a wolf sanctuary in Lancaster. So it's all wolf and dog based, and that's February 7th at Moondogs. Our EP release. Take the Honey Tan is the name. Those were all of the things I needed to say.
Yeah, well done. It's like you do this for a living or something.
I think I'd be less about it, but I'm
no, you're good. No, that's all the information that I didn't mention.
Naturally, I'm not well spoken, but yeah, that was an important detail.
That's all. Yeah, that's all the stuff that I didn't mention.
Yeah, and then it'll be on the internet and all that crap too. But you should come to the show because it's fun. You can stare at each other.
It'll be on the internet and
on a CD.
Yeah, there you go.
on a little circle.
On a little circle that you can put in your mouth.
Yeah.
Tony's gonna eat it.
You can put it wherever you. Okay, I feel like I changed the subject by accident because I was like, I forgot.
Yeah, he's like, tell us about stuff other than
That was an upcoming
I was
No
asking
Werewolves
if there was anything No Werewolves related and or if you had anything else.
We put together a...
That's what I was going to say.
Okay.
Cool. Go for it, yeah.
We put together a grassroots Pride music festival in June. Date for that is not announced yet, but we will be doing it again. It's called Loud and Proud Music Festival. This will be the 3rd year that we're doing it. It's a fun time. It's all Pittsburgh acts. It's all Pittsburgh vendors. It's phenomenal. We did it last
It
year
was super fun. Yeah, it was
Allegheny City Brewing. We did it last year.
Raised money for Hugh Lane Wellness. I think we raised around $2,000.
$2,000, yeah.
And it's a submission-based festival too. So if you keep an eye out on either Trafford Estate or the rosebowl.pgh on Instagram, because we have to use the internet to do things. You can find out how you can submit to that once we open submissions, which this is in the summer, so you'll
Soon.
Maybe
Fairly
I think
soon.
maybe probably sometime in March or April we'll open up that form. So, but yeah, that's a big one cooking.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great time.
And I'm putting out another book. So there's that.
Another book or
I mean, yeah.
paperback
Yeah, well,
or another book.
both. But more immediately is the paperback version of the hardcover that came out last year. That's my lyric book. What's up?
I just keep thinking of random other things. We are in the early phases of discussing a music video for our upcoming, not yet released song at Muley Point. We have somebody named Ashley who wants to start making music videos, and we're just passing around ideas. But yeah, our first official music video will exist soon. How cool is that? Thanks, Ash. These are things and stuff.
We have a clip of it to show right now.
We might have like a fire spinner in it. If somebody who's watching this spins fire and wants to be in a music video, hit us
Yeah,
up.
that's pretty good.
That's
Maybe I can do that.
Yeah, we could all just like accidentally die. Like,
Yeah.
oops.
Sounds good.
Hell yeah, I'm down.
Those are the immediate things, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
We have stuff. We have live stuff booked into the spring. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
where
will-
should people check on dates? How do they do that?
If you don't want to use Meta, which is understandable and great, Trafford.estate keeps track of all. You tell them what Trafford Estate is.
it's a website.
Yeah, it's
which
a
is,
website.
which is
not a social media platform with an algorithm.
which
It
is
a website.
and it's easy to misunderstand that it's a website because it doesn't have .com at the end.
That is confusing.
I know. I don't get
know.
it.
When did you choose
Isn't that so me though?
Yeah. Trafford.estate.
Yeah.
That's great. So this was like that year when they released all the weird domain extensions.
I
and you
mean,
were like,
that's
I'm
still
going to grab
that's still
estate.
going on. Yeah,
I know, but it just started at, when did that start? Like maybe,
pre-COVID.
yeah, okay. And you grabbed one.
That's the important takeaway here, folks.
Yeah,
But yeah,
absolutely.
that's a good
This
place
bit
to
of
get
internet
info.
history. Yeah, when did the extended domain exist?
We also keep our Instagram up to date and stuff too. But like I said, Trafford Estate is a nice little website. So websites.
That's
yeah.
good. Okay, I won't miss any more
Websites.
of our shows. Now that
Now
I
it
know
knows where to look.
It's like the interview tonight's at 6, right?
You gotta look in the bathroom while at Ormsby and see what's taped near the toilet. That's probably
That's right.
me. No.
Taped inside the
Taped
toilet.
in the toilet.
Yeah.
We gotta lift that top thing where the inside the toilet, that top lid.
the bowl.
That's where the flyer for the next show.
No, not the bowl.
No.
The tank.
Like yeah, that's
I
what it's
understand.
called. That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. Yeah.
None of this is what Brian asked us.
No. This is
I think
this
we're
is
on
great.
He
top.
said, "Where can we?
Yeah.
Where,
I'm just-
how do people know when more things are?
I'm-
Right? Was
yeah.
that the question?
I'm letting y'all cook and the characters
Yeah.
flowing. It's great.
Right,
I'm just
yeah.
watching in real time.
Okay. I think you're getting a real portrait here.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
This is-
yeah.
Psychoanalyzed.
Yeah, we didn't rehearse this. This is all genuine. Yeah.
No, that's good. You know, I very much am very anti preparation when it comes to
Good. Yeah.
interviews. I feel like
Yeah.
you just gotta sit down, talk with people, whatever happens.
Definitely.
And this, my friends, and No Werewolves, has happened. We have done it. This has been a podcast. So before we send things off, we've already kind of said our piece about everything that's coming up. I'm excited to hear the new music. I'm excited to see you with the violin. Player,
Yeah.
that'd be
5-string violin. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
We didn't even talk about
I
that.
know,
We just
yeah,
opened up a
it
whole
is.
new can of worms, my
Yeah,
friend.
no,
What's
no.
the fifth
Yeah,
note?
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I don't even know, to be honest.
Yeah.
I'm the only guy with the right number of strings on my
That's
instrument.
Yeah.
No, that's
He
true.
plays a 12 string.
I play
he
a
plays
12
a 5.
string, yeah.
Yeah.
Like exclusively for this group.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is really, really funny.
Yeah.
Well, with all of that being said, all strings accounted for, I'll be back again next week with another episode. One more time, though, please make some noise for No Werewolves. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
You can give a good howl if you
I'm
want.
not good at it. I was just like, giving the vibe of if
You
someone
can
else
make
wanted
the
to.
face, and I'll like put one in digitally.
We have to all do
When
it.
you say one,
Put like a loud as fuck one, and we all
Yeah.
do it. But we silently are just going.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ready? Okay.
Yeah, here we
One,
go.
2, 3. Dog your nose.
I did it.
We got you too. Well, hey, I'll be back again next week
don't
with
suck.
another episode. Same time, same place, same channel. You know the drill. My name is Brian Sykes House. Start the Beat is the podcast. 2026 is the year. And until next time, take care of yourselves. Take care of the people around you. Peace out. We did it. That was a podcast.
Hey,
Fun.
thank you.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Good times.
Okay.
So this was off.